Okay, we're going to do a quick intro. We are ruminating on starting um, to teach our spiritual gifts along with our own personal healing journeys. And I'm Shayna,
I'm Leah.
and um, we have a really interesting connection. But one of the things that connects us is our spiritual walks. We're both from Missouri. We didn't grow up together. Um, and we have a lot of ancestral, natural,
Natural
yeah,
inclination.
yeah.
Like
And
our spirits communicate with each other well.
well, what I was going to say was we both grew up in two separate religions, right? So Leah grew up Muslim. I grew up very distant Christian. And when I say distant, it's like we went to church on Sundays. Um, and we went to church on, well, I went to church on Sundays. And I didn't, just didn't connect with me. And luckily I was raised in a household where that wasn't ridiculed. So I would say it was Christian in the terms of its love and its faith. But there was no, conditions in my home around like sin or Jesus said this or that. None of that went on in my home.
Same. I grew up, my father was a part of the Nation of Islam. And so by the time excuse me, I was born, he had been a recent convert. And so it was almost like I was the transition kid. Like my name, my little brother and sister's name, like all the names start with us and not my older siblings. And so we weren't forced to be a part of the Nation of Islam or to study, but as far as discipline and eating, those things were enforced by my parents. Um, I still had grandmothers who went to church. So I went to vacation Bible school every summer. And I love a good choir.
So that is something that we both love in the tradition is the I do love um I personally love the ritual of church and the whole entire kit and caboodle of it. So what we also are readers, meaning we read a lot of books. Yes, spiritual readings, but the most important things that we read a lot of, and this is something that all of my friends and colleagues are about is just like reading. So um, I have two colleagues that are friends that are coming out with books right now. Um, and I don't have them here
Not no dream.
physically
Oh
with
no.
me. Let's see. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Do I? No. Okay.
So
So I will have to, we'll probably have to redo this or I'll have to come with the books because right now the book by Octavia Rahim, Rest is Sacred, is actually in a sacred space in my home. And that's why I don't have it in my bag because I am reading it. And as we thought about what we wanted to do today, thank you.
that's it.
Think you have to come close there. I'm really excited that we're doing this because I'm also going to do a book club, completely free book club. Get the book, send her the receipt, send me the receipt, and we can gather for a good two sessions where we just introduce ourselves to the practice of rest. And then we are able to convene again after perhaps practicing once a week and then just sharing with each other what it's been like to intentionally rest. So I'm really excited about that. That's coming up. If you're not on my newsletter, which is a Substack
Substack.
journal,
Mm-hmm.
then join it so that I can give you more details about that. But we decided to come together to have a book talk conversation. Also, Trisha Hershey is also releasing her book, We Will Rest, and I'm really excited to be going to her Atlanta book tour to see that. So those are two books on magic, root work, dream work. All of rest practices are just sacred acts
Mm-hmm.
that really just open you up spiritually to really receiving a
A
lot
lot of,
of
I know we say downloads. I don't.
I do. I say downloads. I
Yeah.
like it because I'm a computer
Insight.
geek.
What? Yeah. Whatever. However it resonates with you. Downloads, insight, spiritual information, guidance.
Yeah.
I love these two women and their practice because we don't realize how important rest is for us to receive those downloads and insights and information. And also, rest is very important to our nervous system so that we live longer, so that our hearts do the things that they're supposed to do. So, there's so much connected to rest. And when we live in such a hustle, bustle, grind culture, for a very long time, I know you were grinding.
Yeah.
I was grinding, and even living with a chronic illness. So it was like double
Yeah.
grind. My body's already fighting, and then I'm forcing it to go to work and do all these things to chase the dollar.
Yeah.
Thank God for deliverance.
So right.
But when you don't know, you don't know. So I think part of why we're coming together is like we just regular.
And well, and I also want to say we came from two different walks, right? So like I'm an entrepreneur. Oh, that's okay. I'm an entrepreneur, and she works in corporate America, right? So today for her, she's working from home. She gets to wear, and that's something that we don't discuss, like just being able to be ourselves or express ourselves in the workplace. You know what I mean? Some things being appropriate and not appropriate, our hair being inappropriate and not appropriate. Oh my God. Anywho, all of that, whatever it is that you feel like sometimes you have to step out of your natural essence and natural being, to be, is also something that's super duper important as a spirit person or on your spiritual journey, because you have to learn to love your gifts. And loving your gifts a lot of times means that you have to spend time and space with spirit.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Just listening to your body, listening to how things are communicating with your body, or just being able to have time just to not think.
Just not to think, not to do.
Yeah. Not thinking is one of those things too, that it's the easiest way for spirit to be able to communicate with you. Right. So if you're looking to get an answer to what you need to do next at work, and you want to just be able to download it into it, like kind of what move you want to make next, the best thing is to just rest with it and stop and pause. You know what I mean? So those are two books. We just went on a whole rampage. What would you suggest next?
So how many books are we doing?
6. So we've got 4.
Okay, so we got 2. So my 2, one that I'm looking forward to getting in the mail, I have ordered it. There's a young man, I believe he's out of North Carolina, We the Urban. He's been writing these like affirmations on a daily basis that he posts on Instagram. Yeah.
So I really love the support too of just Black writers, Black authors, Black creatives, or brown, indigenous creatives, whoever's in your ancestry creatives, right? I love the local bookshops, being able to go in there and just ask about what's new.
I'm trying to think of some of the ones down here in the West End and in Atlanta. There's a few.
But look it up. That's another thing bookworm girls love to do. I'm really interested in doing like sound baths, like a relaxing read or a silent read with sound bath or something like that, just because it would be really good. Okay, so go ahead.
So he released this book. Oh God, hold on. Hit the wrong thing. There it is. He released this book. There we go. So we can stop getting. All right. He released this book.
What's it called?
Not sure who needs to hear this. I'll make sure you guys can see who We the Urban is. And so every day almost he will put out something, a quote. So like yesterday's was, it's time for you to be at peace again, love.
Yeah, that's so dope. So that's another spiritual thing that I do, which is, oh gosh, what is it called? I've been teaching it forever, where you pick up the book and you just open it to where it's supposed to, but you ask with intention. That intention thing, y'all, is everything and everything that you do. But asking,
Traps.
okay.
And then we'll title it.
So beyond that, excuse me, I gotta do a little technical situations. Um, Beyond that, I love that for whenever I need an uptick and I didn't have affirmation cards or what have you, but I always had my books. Or I would be in a place where at least I could pick something up and see how it resonates. If it's just a random magazine, even that has work times, or just maybe seeing the image or just allowing it to, open me up to whatever I'm seeing in the magazine and allowing that to just speak to me however it does. Okay, so mine would be, we got to write all this stuff in the notes. Mine would be the big leap. I'm crazy about the big leap.
So that was going to be my second one as well. So there, okay. So
I'm crazy about the big leap right now. I'm recommending it to everybody. It was recommended to me by Octavia, and I listened to it on my way from Missouri to Asheville, which is like, or was it Atlanta to Asheville? Anyway, it's only 4 hours. You only have to
listen. So the book is only about 5 hours if you listen to the Audible.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and what it discusses is this man is a therapist and he's able to help you to go into spaces when you know that you are hitting a place where you keep trying, you're noticing that you're repeating a cycle, right? Or something good comes to you and you're like, I wanted to make XYZ amount of money, I did, and then you just start to like somehow self-sabotage. I know that it sounds like I've heard self-sabotage a billion times. When I say the way that he explains it really helps you to understand the ways that you are even manifesting your own sabotage, right? And then he gives you exercises to do to actually recognize it and move forward with it, right? So then he gives you the steps. True hero's journey. You see yourself go through it, you end up quantum leaping, right? Because then you're like, okay, I see what's happening. This is how I'm blocking my own blessing. Pause. No. So this is the big leap.
You can find it, Gary Hendricks. You can find it on Audible. You can find it on Scribed, and you can find it on Amazon. So
the big leap is super duper awesome.
Super duper awesome. All the things she said, and just being able to know that self-sabotage is not like a silo or singular. Like all of us do it because we all have a level, and then we get there and we can't get past it and we start blaming ourselves, not understanding that it's almost like when you work out by yourself and then you get to that plateau and then you can't bust past that plateau, and that's when you need help. So that's when you go call Gary and you're like, hey Gary, listen, this is what's happening. And then he's gonna give you these exercises. He's gonna be like, look, you can get past this. You're bigger, you're made for better, whatever. But you gotta recognize it first. Because a lot of times we hear the word sabotage and we automatically negative connotation. No,
it's that you're getting granted the things that you have been, you know what I'm saying, manifesting. And when it gets there, you just be like, pause. Like you think in your mind you're gonna be like, oh, but when I get this, it's gonna be blah blah blah. And then you realize like, oh, let me just
sit in it for a minute. I'm not even really sure. So I'll give a good example of that. And this isn't a financial thing. This is, like I said, I live with a chronic illness. That chronic illness is hidradenitis suppurativa. And sometimes with this illness, you are allowed to have a reconstructive surgery that will literally change your life. Okay. So in 2017, I got approved for the surgery. And as I'm approved for the surgery, everybody around me, friends, family, everybody, they're asking me, how are you going to feel afterwards? And I am at the top of I'm there, like I don't even know. I can't pass what I know about this illness to be able to tell you how I'm going to feel afterwards, because I'm at my edge. All I know is this, right? It took me 2020, the year of the pandemic, was the year that I was finally in my skin enough to be like, oh, I'm coming out. This is gonna be my summer. Like I'm wearing all the things I want to wear. I'm putting on the swimming suits. I'm doing all the things. Well, of course, there's a pandemic, but I'm saying that what I'm saying is you don't know what your upper level limit is. So I couldn't tell people around me who were asking me, how are you going to feel when you have, I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't know in 2018. I didn't know in 2019, but 2020, something clicked for me. After graduating surgery in January of 2018, something clicked in 2020 and said, you know what? You're ready for this. You can move forward with this. And that is when I started to get opportunities to speak and talk more about HS to the community and become an advocate and things like that. But I was at my upper limit. All I knew was that I couldn't surpass it. And so I was, and I did sabotage in those times. I pushed people away. I didn't know how to receive what they were trying. I didn't know how to receive. Everybody's happy that this is happening for me because my health is going to go through the roof. And I'm like, I don't know that. I don't know what that looks like. So it's a great book. It's, you can, everybody can see themselves in this book.
Yeah.
Literally.
Definitely. What will be your next one?
Ooh, okay, let me see. I have so many, y'all. Let me go to my scribe.
We're at 1, 2, 3, 4.
And okay, library. Ask me later.
Sorry, I don't edit any of these. Not right now, at least. Because I don't have the skills set.
So okay, so there's one that I believe you might have recommended this one, but it's called Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice.
This was a really good one because so I probably did recommend that one. Again, this is manifesting at its finest, right? What he teaches you and he shows you through your ancestors, right? So if you're, you can still refer back to whoever's ancestry that you're in, predominantly, but it starts to give it, it's so important for Black folks because the story that they're always told is you were a slave, you've been poor, you had civil rights, blah blah blah, right? And so there's this innate feeling of struggle or less or lack. And what he does is he gives you examples of just exemplary Black, you know, they were profoundly successful in whatever it is that they did, and their alignment was in, no, I can do this. What I don't, there's nothing in between what I'm doing and God, so I'm going to make this happen. Right? And so he gets all in one book an account of our ancestral, I call it infinitude. Shit, I don't know. I'm making up a goddamn word because that's what it feels like. You start to realize that you are connected to all of those folks, and those folks did not believe in they fucking upper level limit, my nigga. Like they wasn't photo sheets. They created what they wanted to create when they wanted to create, and they were profoundly successful, you know, in it because they stayed the course, they stayed disciplined, they were true to the, you know, all of these great characteristics that they had. So the Think and Grow Rich, he shows you this is how this person thought. They've got it written down, they documented. He's giving you, you know, quotes from these folks, right? So next time we do this, we'll have to pick out some quotes so that we'll
yes.
I have, but it's really, really good. It's really, really great. We've got 2 minutes. I thought this was going to be 10 minutes and now we're almost at 20. Okay, so one last one.
Yeah, yours.
One last one. I would probably always recommend, if you're on your beginning journeys, to read Jambalaya. And I would say to read Jambalaya because it's a very simple book that Louisa Teach explains her life, you know, and the gentle ways that our intuitive gifts speak with us. And she gives you simple rituals that you can do alone or with others who love prayer and prayer circles and magic and creating and, you know, all the things that we do. That would be a good one. So there's Jambalaya.
This is Jambalaya. It is an amazing book. I can agree.
It is. So we'll put the information somewhere, somehow.
Yes.
Thank you for watching this to the end, and subscribe to the newsletter so that you could get so we can do the circle.
We can do the circle.
And I'm gonna get like 5 books, and I'm gonna figure out how to make sure that I give those out For rest is sacred. Yeah. So, all right.
Peace.
Bye bye. All right. I mean,